The night was all a blur. The party started around 10 p.m. and seemed to never end. The dorm complex was covered with empty alcohol containers. There were so many people at the party, it was impossible to have known what exactly happened. Especially with all of the drunk college students. One would have to assume that it had been caused by alcohol. The morning after, there in the middle of the lawn was a dead student. Many identified her as Brittany Adams. All who knew her understood that she would never drink so much to the point of her death. So what happened? Who could have killed such a sweet person? There was only one person that had any reason. It was Brittany's lifelong dream to go to UCLA. Finding her room and navigating the campus was hard enough. The last thing on her mind was love. She promised her parents that she would make new friends, but would keep focusing on her studies. It took her forever to find her room that first day. She knew that dorm life would be hard, but this was as luxurious as she would get. Room B12.
There is no way this room exists.
Brittany mumbled out of frustration. Not looking where she was walking, Brittany ran right into Eliza.
Watch where you're stepping, brat. These shoes are designer, you know.
Eliza snarled. Right then and there, Brittany knew she wanted nothing more than to stay away from Eliza. She would make her life a nightmare. Fast forward a couple of weeks, and Brittany makes her way to public speaking class. She sits in the back of the lecture hall and waits for the professor to begin. About 20 minutes into class, Brittany feels a tap on her shoulder. She looks behind her to see the most handsome man she has ever seen. He had to have been at least 6 feet 3 inches tall, with beautiful blue eyes, dirty blonde hair, and captain of the football team. Her jaw drops. He starts talking, but she can't comprehend anything. All she can focus on is his beauty.
Hey, did you hear me? What is he talking about?
He said you're handsome. He said to look people in the eyes.
She sputtered. Chad thought she was beautiful. He had been eyeing her for days. He's blushing over a freshman. How pathetic of him. He laughs to himself, realizing he's blushing over what she accidentally said about him.
Thanks? You're Adams, right?
Yeah, I'm Brittany. Nice to meet. Wait, that wasn't right.
Girl, you gotta spit it out. I'm not that distracting, am I?
Feeling embarrassed, Brittany let out a small sigh and turns back around in her seat. People are beginning to stare at her, and that is the last thing she needs. Because of Chad's scene, she had trouble concentrating for the rest of the lecture. Following her parents' wishes, she decides to try and make new friends. She believes that the best way would be joining a team or club. On her way back from class, she sees a flyer for cheerleading tryouts. Having never cheered before, she decides to take the risk and write her name down on the sign-up sheet. Of course, she would sign up at the last minute. Tryouts were the next morning. She started practicing. Brittany stayed up all night practicing. When she finally fell asleep, she dreamt of Chad. She woke up so incredibly happy and could not stop smiling. She knew that she needed to see Chad again. She had to make the cheer squad. Following that thought, she realized Chad was the only reason she signed up in the first place.
This is the longest day of my life.
Brittany said to herself. As she makes her way to class, the only thing she can think about is how tired she is. She decides she has to stop and take a break. She sees a coffee cart and decides to get some caffeine so she can try and make it through the day.
Hey there, hotshot.
Chad said in Brittany's direction.
Where's my coffee?
Caught off guard, Brittany spills her coffee all over herself.
Are you serious? I have to go to class. I don't have time to go back and change my clothes.
Relax. It's gonna be fine. No one's even gonna notice.
No one's going to notice. I'm soaked.
Okay. If you're that worried, take this.
Chad takes off his sweatshirt and hands it to Brittany.
There, now no one will notice, and you don't have to go back and change.
Brittany sheepishly takes the sweatshirt and puts it over her coffee-soaked t-shirt.
Hey, my frat is having a party on Saturday. You should come. 10 p.m., don't be late.
Said Chad.
Yeah, I'll try and make it. Oh no, I'm gonna be late. I need to go.
Brittany exclaims. She leaves Chad standing alone in awe. Walking into the lecture hall, Brittany accidentally runs into Eliza yet again. Eliza wasn't going to say anything until she saw her wearing Chad's sweatshirt.
Where did you get that? That isn't yours.
Eliza snapped.
Oh, I spilled my coffee earlier and Chad happened to be there. I didn't have time to go and change, so he offered me a sweatshirt. No big deal.
It is a big deal. He's mine. You can't just take him away from me. I've had my eye on him for 3 years.
Brittany brushed off her confrontation with Eliza and focused on getting to her seat, as she was already late for class. Later that night, Brittany is in her room working on a presentation. She was taking a break and checking her email when she saw it. She had made the cheer squad. As Brittany was jumping up and down with joy, her phone began to ring. Reluctantly, Brittany answered her phone.
Hello? Who is this?
Calm down, it's just me.
Said Chad.
How on earth did you get my number?
I have my ways.
So what do you need?
I heard you made the cheer squad. Didn't know a girl like you had it in you.
Brittany blushed as she said,
How'd you find out so quickly?
A captain should always know who's cheering for him. You know, my party is the perfect place to show off your new uniform.
Yeah, right. You're funny. But I'll be there. Don't worry.
Brittany hung up the phone, grinning ear to ear. She knew she had to look her absolute best at this party. The morning of the party, Brittany had to go to cheer practice early. She was super excited, but dreading it because she knew Eliza would be there. Eliza was going to do anything to run her off, but Brittany was not going to let that happen. She was going to make this the best year of her life. Brittany did her best to stay away from Eliza during practice. At the end, Eliza stormed up to Brittany and said,
Who let you on the team? First, you tried to take my man, and now you try to take my spot? It seems like you want to be me. Are you jealous?
Look, I was just trying to make some friends. Chad came up to me first. He was never your man. I spilled my coffee and he let me borrow his sweatshirt. It was nothing more than that.
Tonight at Chad's party, you better stay away from him. He wants me, not you.
Eliza warned.
Got it.
Brittany walked away knowing she could get some studying done before the party. She knew that she wanted nothing to do with Eliza and was going to steer clear of her and her drama. Around 8 o'clock, Brittany was just starting to get ready for the party. She didn't realize she had been studying for so long, and now she was rushing to be ready on time. She didn't want to be too dressed up, but needed to look good for Chad. She had to win him over tonight. Meanwhile, everyone was ecstatic about the first party of the year. They always had high expectations for the parties Chad's frat threw. In previous years, theirs was the most memorable. But he had some different things to think about tonight. Yes, of course, the party was going to be a great time. However, Brittany and Eliza were not getting along the greatest. Two of his best friends, but they could not seem to get along. The invitation to the party said it started at 10, but many of the students were getting there around 8 due to anticipation. So since there were people already there, Chad decided to start drinking with the rest of them. Besides, the best way to forget all of the troubles of the world is to drink them away. After an hour went by, Chad had completely forgotten about the two. How could he even think of them? He was on the biggest cornhole losing streak since his freshman year. Directly after another loss, he felt a tap on his shoulder, and to his surprise, it was Eliza.
I think you might need a new partner.
Said Eliza.
Got anybody in mind?
Chad asked.
I could think of someone.
Laughed Eliza. They made a great team, not just in regards to the cornhole games, but in general. Each one always knew what the other was thinking. The chemistry they had together was second to none. Which is the reason why it had been so hard for him to figure out what Brittany and he are. He likes her, but not in the way she wants him to like her. He's just been acting like himself around her, but it seems as though she's interpreting it as something more than it is. Now it occurred to him why Eliza doesn't like Brittany. She views her as competition. But that would be crazy. Eliza knows that he would never date someone like Brittany. So he made the decision that Brittany would have to go. Not kill her, of course, but get her out of his life. What that exactly entailed could be figured out another day. Now was a time for partying. Brittany got there at exactly 10 o'clock, not realizing that everyone had been there for so long already. Even though she got there right on time, she felt as though she were late. She needed to find Chad, and fast. She found him playing cornhole in the backyard with none other than Eliza. She walks up to Chad despite what Eliza had said to her at practice.
Cool party, Chad. I thought it started at 10, though.
Brittany said while glaring at Eliza.
It was supposed to, but everyone decided to pregame.
Chad slurred.
Glad I got the memo.
Brittany said, very frustrated.
Enough with the attitude, brat. Why are you even here? I told you not to come.
Eliza butted in.
You must be pretty insecure if you have to tell me not to come. Chad invited me. You know that. I don't need your permission.
Brittany snarled.
I told you to back off. He's mine and you know it.
Said Eliza.
Whoa, ladies. Break it up. No need to fight over me.
Chad said drunkenly. The girls are beginning to cause a scene and won't listen to anything Chad has to say. He is getting fed up with their actions and needs to get them out of the crowd's view. He escorts them both by the arm up to the second floor of his house. He leads them out to the balcony so they can settle their dispute.
You are ridiculous, Brittany. He would never want a freshman.
Eliza screamed.
That is enough. You guys either need to get over yourselves and be nice to each other, or leave right now.
Chad demanded. Right then, Eliza swings at Brittany. She is furious. Chad makes an effort to pull them apart when the unbelievable happens. In a drunk effort, Chad pushed too hard with Brittany too close to the edge of the balcony. In a split second, she was falling to her death, head first. The only thing heard after that was screaming from down below. Eliza stood in shock while Chad slowly broke down into tears. Chad could not believe what he had just done. No one ever meant for this to happen. Brittany had simply gone over the edge.